This is the ultimate zero build Porta-Bunker guide. Here are some basic tips and some real advanced strategies that the best zero build players are using to win all of their games. What is up, guys? My name is Untitled Chapter. I'm a top 100 zero build player and I will be your coach today. To show the importance of all of these tips, here's an endgame I just played in an official zero build tournament. We knew the team we were fighting here on the right literally advertises cheats on their YouTube channel. So we had to play this one perfectly, and that's why I kind of poke and prod with the riot shield here on my approach. As the fight starts off, I rotate down the hill and I want to bunker in because I know that's directly in zone. Here I see that they bunker stack, so I bunker stack too. I'll show you how to do this in a second. And here we're currently weighing our options. What to do next, how are we going to do it, how are we really going to win this fight. You can see I have more bunkers, I have a grapple, I have a riot shield, and I make a pretty crazy call here in a second. So now, as you can see on the mini map, we can see that the zone actually pulls far, meaning that they'll be able to easier rotate and just kind of hold us the whole time as we have to rotate to the next circle. So we know now we have to fight immediately. Here I communicate to our teammate we are going to bunker them off of their bunker and jump on them and try and win this fight, and how the mechanics and why we do all these exact movements will be described later in this video. So I throw in my bunker. They get knocked backwards and we jump in. And we get the victory with a lot of health to spare. Before we begin, shout out to Sways for the kind words in my last video. If you guys also want to be featured in my next video, please comment down below. All right, into the first tip. To start off, one of the most basic things you need to be able to do is mantle into an enemy bunker when they've placed one. Typically, we kind of maybe try and run in the side doors or run around back, or maybe try and jump up on one of the sides, but you will get knocked back by these tires, or they just like know where you're coming wherever you're entering the bunker. But if you jump up onto this little bumper bar, is what I'll call it for this video, you can actually get into the bunker and take an angle that they maybe weren't ready for. Often their back is even to you, or they're hiding inside of the bunker. They don't even realize where you're coming from. Tip number 2, bunker at their bunker. So this one is not exactly what it seems. You might think, oh, you're just throwing another bunker at theirs. Like, what does that mean? We're just gonna run at each other and fight. Well, it gives you a very specific advantage that I want to show you. So say you see an enemy bunker in the distance and you throw your bunker at theirs, that actually gives you what I like to call like bunker priority over your enemy player. So from your side, you can just run up and peek right down and, you know, obviously get angles on them wherever they're going, so on and so forth. But from their side, they actually hit these little tires when they run up the ramp on their side, and they just get knocked back over and over again. And again, you kind of have that bunker priority. It's something that you'll see even top zero build players fight for as they are going through the game. All right, point number 3 is jumping when you throw a bunker to go inside of it. So often people will just throw a bunker directly at their feet and they'll end up like stuck underneath the bunker, right? That's not necessarily optimal, nor does it really give you an advantage when you're trying to turn a fight around after getting shot or trying to protect your teammates. So if you can make it a habit to jump when you throw the bunker, you can actually get inside of the top of the bunker or even land on the ramp if you time it correctly. This obviously gives you a huge advantage to either pop shield or look for an enemy that's pushing you when you're trying to quickly react in the middle of a fight. All right, point number 4, how to bunker stack. So this is a very, very, very important one to do, and I would say arguably one of the best mechanics to know when it comes to using bunker. So what you want to be able to do is basically stack multiple bunkers on top of each other. You're just like building, kind of ramping towards the enemy. But there's a very specific way you have to throw it. You kind of want to come to the middle of the bunker. You can kind of like mark where your feet need to be once you see the outline kind of showing extended off the front of the bunker. And you want to aim again for these little guardrail things that are holding the tires on of the bunker. I like to call them the bumper. That is how you can stack your bunkers on top of each other. And it takes a little bit of practice, but once you do it a few times, you'll be able to do it consistently. Now, point number 5 is how to counter the bunker stack. So there's obvious ways that you can do it by either chopping it or shooting it or whatever it may be, but you know, those aren't necessarily practical in a real in-game fighting scenario. One way that you can quickly do it is if you have your own stack of bunkers and say they're stacked above you, they're starting to ramp at you, whatever it may be, you can chop them out by throwing a bunker into the second layer or higher, and it will chop out all of the bunkers above it, and they'll literally just fall and take fall damage. So it's a really good mechanic to know if you're in the middle of a bunker fight. All right, my last tip is how to vertically bunker stack. So again, we're applying all of the knowledge of these previous points. If you haven't watched those, go back and watch them again. But basically, this is the best one of all. You might see this and think, well, why don't I just ramp? Ramping is maybe a little bit easier or more reliable, but the vertical stack is actually better than the ramp stack. But you cannot get chopped out. As you can see, when someone tries to throw one at the second layer or higher, it just kind of knocks out the front of the bunker, but the whole thing doesn't get chopped down. They're just kind of adding to it versus like the whole thing breaking and you taking fall damage. So it's actually a useful thing to vertically stack rather than kind of 90-degree angle ramp at your enemies. All right, guys, I hope these tips really did help you. I'm so thankful for those of you guys that have continued to come back to the video. If you want better aim in your games, be sure to use supporter creator code TiltTruth in the Fortnite item shop. It gave me +5 aim and it can for you too. #app. If you found this video at all helpful, please like and follow along for more Fortnite tips and tricks content.